From the Northway Bank Online Newsroom, I'm Gare McKenzie. This local and regional news update is brought to you by Northway Bank. Want a Northway Bank teller to keep in your pocket? There's an app for that. Now available for iPhone and Android. Download yours today. Northway Bank with 17 locations throughout New Hampshire. The people you know, the bank you trust, member FDIC, equal housing lender. The organizers of Sunday's 36th Annual American Cancer Society's Hope on the Slopes Race to Beat Cancer say the event raised more than $11,000 for cancer research and patient services in the Valley. ACS Community Executive Kathy Metz says volunteers enjoyed a post-winter storm Nemo day of skiing, boarding, and tubing races at Cranmore Mountain Resort in North Conway. The stations of the Mount Washington Radio Group are proud sponsors of the event. Metz says will, quote, speed up the search for new weapons to fight cancer. Metz says more public attention and money needs to be channeled into the problem to expand patient services and research new ways to treat cancer patients, a disease she says will, quote, soon become the #1 killer in America as baby boomers grow older. Top 3 individual fundraisers at this year's event include 14-year-old Neville White of Jackson, who raised more than $1,750, Richard Ayer of Glen, who brought in just more than $1,700, and Ken Romano of Linfield, Massachusetts, who collected nearly $1,000 in donations. In team competition, Team Believe brought in the most at $750, and White, 7-year-old Joey Nichipur, and 5-year-old Merrick Iakozili were recognized as outstanding youth fundraisers. Metz is looking for volunteers to plan next year's event. For more information, call her at 603-356-3719. Conway's plan to buy out several property owners in Transvaal Acres is one step closer to completion after New Hampshire Governor Maggie Hassan and the Executive Council approved the process last week. Conway Town Manager Earl Sayers says Hassan and the Council approved the town getting $266,000 in community development block grant funds and an additional $619,000 from the Federal Emergency Management Agency for a total of $885,000. Sayers says the New Hampshire Legislature's Fiscal Committee still needs to sign off on the state accepting FEMA money. He expects that to happen early next month. The town will then be able to disperse the funds to buy out about a dozen properties. Public hearings are required prior to the buyout, and the town will get input from its Planning Board and Conservation Commission. Both bodies have previously indicated their approval of the buyout plan. The buyout plan option was offered to all property owners in Transvaal Acres, the low-lying development off West Side Road in Conway near the Saco River, devastated by flooding by Tropical Storm Irene in August of 2011. After purchase, and existing structures on the property will be demolished and cleared, and the properties left in an undeveloped state. Sayers says as many as 40 properties in Transvaal Acres still have some sort of code or regulatory problems. Some of the cases are being heard in court. Having illegal septic systems is an issue for many of the properties. In Maine news, the public celebration of the life of Maine Warden Service Major Greg Sanborn will be held this afternoon at Primary Academy at the Lura Hill Eastman Performing Arts Center on Bradley Street. Sanborn, who graduated from the Academy in 1984, died last week at the age of 47 from a rare form of cancer. Governor Paul LePage paid tribute to Sanborn last week as he delivered his State of the State speech in Augusta. And Sanborn's life and service were celebrated earlier this week by hundreds of wardens, law enforcement personnel, and friends and family at the Maine Criminal Justice Academy in Vassalboro. This afternoon's event in Freiburg starts at 2 o'clock. In sports, Navy lost to Holy Cross 66-57 last night. BU outlasted Vermont 64-59. In women's basketball, number 3 UConn beat Providence 105-49 last night. And the Rangers recovered after blowing a 3-goal, 2-period lead to beat the Boston Bruins by the score of 4-3 last night. In the weather today, mostly cloudy this morning, then becoming partly sunny. A chance of snow showers, highs in the upper 30s with light winds. Partly cloudy tonight, lows around 14, and partly sunny on Thursday, highs in the upper 30s. From the Northway Bank Online Newsroom, I'm Gare McKenzie.